Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to have a chit chat about twin flames and what they are and what the concept is and how it is confused with other forms of karmic connections and toxic bonds, and how it's perceived in the spiritual community and all the drama around it, and everything that goes together with the idea of a spiritual bond called twin flames, and also what the main purpose of these connections are, and how to go about it if you are in one. I don't think anybody in the spiritual community has a clear idea of what twin flames are. One day we just opened our eyes, we just logged into YouTube, and there they were. The title, the name, the brand that was sold to us as twin flames. And then there is a lot of writings on it on Google. You can Google the terminology, and there is some background information on what it is and how it works and what it should feel like. And some people have come up with signs that if your connection with somebody matches these signs, then it's definitely a twin flame journey. And I don't know, all these steps that you have to follow in order to get into union with your twin, or what's a false twin and what's a true twin and whatnot. And I'm sure if you're attracted to the title of this video and it brought you here to listen to this, you're familiar with the terminology, and you're familiar also with the drama and all the stories that's going on about it on YouTube and on Facebook, anywhere that you're following psychics and readers and all that. So what I'm sharing with you is my personal opinion of twin flames, and so take it or leave it. Take what resonates you. We all have intuition, and you can apply your intuition, and I'm sure your inner voice is the wisest voice that you can listen to. But I'm going to share my take on what it is, and where some of us might have gone wrong in forming expectations around it, or coming up with so many different definitions of it. In my personal opinion, twin flames are souls that are divided into two different bodies, or into two different energies, the masculine and the feminine energy. And these souls have been around for a long time because they have a mission to accomplish. And their mission, I feel, throughout different timelines or lives that they have shared together, have been different. Or let's say the karma between them could have been different, but the mission is always growth of self and growth of the humanity, or helping the growth of other souls. Twin flames are usually healers or teachers, or both, and their mission is to raise vibration of humanity, and vibration of the planet, and vibration of our souls, and boosting us to higher levels, to accomplish higher levels of consciousness, and becoming aware of our true self, and the journey to self-love and all that. And not every soul out there is twin flames. We all have soulmates. We all have somebody that is here to help us move through our journeys. We have many soulmates through our lives. Our friends are our soulmates. Our family are our soulmates. They're there to teach us things. They're there to help us through karmic cycles, or boost, like to push us into karmic cycles and create blockages for us, or push us out of these cycles and help us progress to our higher levels of consciousness. But I feel that not every connection that is strong and that is magnetic and that is following any of all those signs and patterns that some psychics or readers have been sharing on YouTube. Not every connection like that is a twin flame connection. A lot of heavy toxic connection or deep attachments or codependent bonds are really those. They are karmic cycles that you're repeating with someone because of some past wounds that hasn't been healed inside you. Unfortunately, like I've said in my previous videos, our society is caring more for our physical health than our mental health, and there are a lot of people around us that are suffering from mental or behavioral disorders, and unfortunately we're not very familiar with these traits, or we're not educated about them, and it causes us to associate a certain pattern of behavior or a certain way that we're treated in a connection, whether it is romantic or not, but generally in a connection with another person, we're associating that to love, or intimacy or closeness or care. And this false association that can start from childhood would push us to always seek that kind of energy in our connections with the new people that enter our lives. Like, let's say if the first love that you've known in your life, the love of a mother or a parent, has been narcissistic, or has been bipolar, or has been suffering from some kind of disorder, behavioral disorder, that's the love you know. And that is the love that you will seek in future partners, because you're grown up with that. And the wounds that kind of connection, that kind of early relationship has caused inside you, if they haven't been given attention to or haven't been acknowledged or healed, you carry that forward to other relationships. So a lot of people are technically in trauma bonds. They are suffering from abandonment issues. They're suffering from lack of self-worth, and they are associating that with a twin flame connection. When somebody that they're magnetically attracted to leaves them behind, or cheats on them, or lies to them, or manipulates them, they fall more in love with that person. That's like a love addiction. Being addicted to love, and being addicted to a certain person, and having expectations, and creating a delusional sense of happiness around that person. And there is really a lot of times you may not realize that the cause of that is in your past. It's in the time that you might have been abandoned by a parent, or you may not have been accepted by them, or you may not have been loved by them the way that you deserve to love. You may never have been good enough, and you might have tried all your life to satisfy and make somebody else happy, your parents, your family, to the point that is your approach to life and love, trying to prove yourself, trying to make somebody else happy, trying to force things to happen, or fight for things all the time. And I'm sharing this because I have been in the same boat also, trying to fight for everything that I wanted in my life, thinking that if I work so hard towards something, um, or try to prove that I deserve that thing, then that thing should be mine. And a lot of times, this formula doesn't work when it comes to intimate connections and love relationships, or even friendships. You could work hard towards your career or towards making money, or you could be working hard at school or towards your education or towards things that you have control over. But when somebody else comes into play, when 50% of the relationship is depending on somebody else, you're working hard without them putting the same amount of effort into the relationship, is only digging a deeper hole for you. And if you don't realize that you're doing all of that work without receiving anything back, if you don't realize that you're alone in this, you could be stuck in a kind of a giving cycle forever. Some people are in these kind of so-called twin flame relationships for many years, for 4, 5, 10 years even, and they don't see the nature of the trauma bond or the nature of the codependent connection that they have with that person, with somebody who comes in whenever they wish, and they take advantage of them and they leave them, and they call they associate this kind of codependency and toxic bond to a spiritual bond, in order to survive basically in that environment, in that toxic environment. Or basically you start lying to yourself that something that is very toxic and abusive is beautiful and spiritual, because you can't see yourself out of that, and you have to find an excuse to stay in it. In my previous post, when I uploaded about the masculine's current energy, I spoke about how they wear a strawberry scented mask in a shed pool, to not smell the shed and to pretend that everything is nice and beautiful. It can work the same with the feminine. If you're staying too long in an abusive connection, knowing that, like, your soul knows that you're in a toxic connection, but your 3D self wants to or doesn't see himself or herself out of that connection. You might be afraid of loneliness. You might be afraid of the consequences of leaving a connection that you've been so used to have in your life, having to deal with the void that it leaves in your chest or in your physical space after you leave someone behind, someone that you've been so dependent on. So in order to tolerate an environment that is so toxic for you, you start lying to yourself and you start making this beautiful fake image of an abusive situation, calling it all kinds of spiritual names and divine names, in order to stay in it longer. And by staying in it longer, you're just digging yourself a deeper hole. Because in my opinion, and like I said, you can take it or leave it, a spiritual connection is that it's a spiritual connection. It's to lift your spirit. It's to make you a better person. Yes, twin flame connections do have karma. Yes, they can become toxic and abusive. Yes, they can have a lot of codependency in them. But somebody that is your true twin flame, somebody that is the other part of your soul, or the mirror of your soul, is not going to be physically abusive towards you, or is not going to hurt you. Yes, they trigger you. Yes, they show you your wounds or the healing work that you need to do on your shadow side, but they won't hit you. They won't abuse you. They won't sexually assault you, you won't have to go to that level of toxicity with them. And the reason for all that triggering is for your self work. It's honestly, guys, the twin flame journey, as much as it's called twin, or it's about two people, it's really a journey to self-love. It's really a journey to self exploration. Usually the twin flames, that's what I believe, or that's what I've seen from speaking to other twins. These souls have been around for a very long time, and between them there is a lot of karma that you might have been working through different lifetimes, and the connection is not super physical or super romantic. These connections are mostly like a very deep friendship or very deep knowing of each other. Yes, there is attraction there. Yes, there is magnetism there. Yes, there is, if you see your twin, you get a boost of their energy when they're in a high vibration, and you also give them that high vibration when you're with them. And there is this extreme highs and lows with the twins when they're in each other's contact. But it's not damaging. It's for growth. It's for it only becomes damaging if you're not listening to your intuition and if you're not listening to your higher self. But usually a twin flame connection causes you to wake up to what needs to be fixed inside you, and it's a very lonely journey, and it's a very isolated journey. The twin flame connection can pull you out of your friend circle. It can isolate you, and the beautiful part of it is that you don't mind that isolation. Even if you were a party animal, even if you were somebody that was the light of the party, and you were all out there and having a very active social life, once you're in a twin flame journey, you actually are in a hermit mode. You are in a self-reflection mode, and you enter all these phases of self-work and self-exploration, or becoming aware to what needs to be fixed. If you're an awakened twin, and if you submit to the universe and what they have planned for you, then you start your ascension journey, and then you start working on yourself, and then you start progressing in your life. Then you start healing, you start loving yourself and giving back to yourself, and your life starts picking up from that point. But even if you're not going with that, if you're stubborn, usually the masculine energy awakens to their powers later than the feminine, or they try to be like holding on to their karmic cycles longer. But even the masculine is aware. They are aware that there is something more to their soul, and the fact that they're not attempting to it is a decision. It's a choice that they make. It's a it's a free will, let's say, and it's something that that their higher self knows about. You can't lie. Like the masculine lies to himself in order to keep himself in karmic cycles, but his higher self knows about the feminine and the journey, and that there is more to life, and that there is more to himself and his higher self and the powers that he has. These masculines are they have the same abilities as you do. They're the mirror of your soul. They're psychics. They can feel things. They are intuitive. They can manifest. They're magicians. The only problem with the majority of masculines is that they don't utilize these resources and powers in the way that would help their growth and help their soul growth. They're very stuck in the 3D and in the matrix, and in the stuck karmic energy, the devil energy. And so if you're in a connection that is very toxic, that is abusive, that you don't see any give and take, that you're putting all the work in and all the effort in, and you're constantly verbally or emotionally or physically or mentally abused by your partner or by your person, and that person is cheating on you, lying to you, manipulating you, and you're very codependent on them, and you're still there, and you're still giving your energy to it, and you're still thinking about them, and you can't live without them, and you can't live without their energy. That connection is a trauma bond. It could be a trauma bond to a spiritual connection. I'm not here to judge whether your connection is spiritual or not, but it is not a healthy connection, and it is not. You can't stay in toxicity for long and hurt yourself under the title and the flag of Twin Flames. And it's kind of sad that a lot of people on YouTube or in the spiritual community, whatever outlet they're using, Twitter, I don't know, Instagram, and they're encouraging people by giving them hope that your person feels like this about you, and that your person is doing that in this moment, and bringing out karmic energies, and your person is doing this and feeling like this towards their current partner or their family or their karmic or their girlfriend, and constantly steering negative energy, and creating a false sense of hope in a toxic cycle, in a narcissistic cycle. A lot of the connections that people are dealing with right now, that they're associating it with twin flame connections or spiritual connections, are truly narcissistic. They are a supply to a narcissistic person. They are abused in a narcissistic way, and in order to not accept or not feel the hurt of acknowledging that yes, you have been abused, and yes, you have been a victim to a narcissist, or yes, you have been a supply to a narcissist that now has discarded you and left you behind, you keep lying to yourself, and you keep this hope that this person will be back into your life, and things will become rosy and happy again. I constantly encourage anyone and everyone that is in a codependent toxic cycle to educate yourself about narcissism, about bipolar disorder, about all kinds of behavioral disorder. Just if you spend your time listening or watching, I don't know, 20-50 videos a day just to find out what somebody feels about you, are they going to come back to you, or how they're doing in their own personal life, you have the time to look up what narcissism is, and what behavioral disorder is, what mental disorder is, and what kind of disorders are hidden in people, and what are the signs for that. And do not manipulate yourself into believing that something that is hurting you and keeping you low and keeping you down and stuck and chained is divine. God or whoever you believe in, the higher power, the spirit, the universe, will not put you into something toxic unless there is some lessons to learn out of that. And the lesson to learn out of a toxic situation is to not be in it. your creator, somebody that has created you, somebody that has watched after you all your life, and somebody that loves you, or if you or is the source for your soul, will not keep you into a sad situation where you're constantly belittled, and your self worth is constantly under question and attack, and your energy is constantly abused, just to keep you in a divine connection. Like, for 1 second, just take off the rose colored glasses and look at the reality of your situation. Just think that if you really truly love someone, how much pain do you impose on them? If you really truly care about someone, let's say you create your child, right? Your child is yours, you created it, you love them. Do you really put them in a situation where they're constantly abused, where they're constantly hurt, where they're constantly crying, where they're constantly in low vibrational energy, where wounded, where they're a target of attacks, and they're constantly played with, their minds and their emotions and everything? You wouldn't, right? It's very likely that you never put your child anywhere close to that kind of environment. So how would you believe that God, that your creator, would ever put you into a toxic cycle to keep you there, and that is all you deserve? That is why the main point of a twin flame connection is the journey to self-love. Yes, the cycle is there, the karma is there, the toxicity is there to teach you something, to teach you that you're worth more than that, that you are better than that. You're better than somebody coming and taking advantage of you and leaving you for something else or somebody else or their environment. You're better than somebody breadcrumbing you where you're putting all of yourself in. You're better than somebody calling you at midnight just to say hi or just to come by for sex. You're better than somebody just seeing you on their way home when they have all week to plan for a date for you. You're better than paying for your own trips to meet someone every time and they never show effort into traveling to you to see you. You're better than constantly sending all the texts and initiate all kinds of conversation with somebody that you care about without them ever initiating towards you and without them ever approaching you. Self-love is about that. It's about recognizing your worth, your how much are you worth, how much would you give to yourself, because until you love yourself and appreciate who you are and know your worth, how could you expect somebody else to do that for you? How could you expect that X and Y are going to treat you the way that you deserve if you don't treat yourself like that? You are the one person that you will live with for the rest of your life. So you should be deserving, you should be treating yourself the way you deserve. And for that self-love, one thing that's very important is to cherish the child that lives in you, that inner child, the child that's wounded throughout your life, the child that's been neglected throughout your life, the child that has been abandoned, and the child that has been abused by you and by other people. A lot of times it's not other people, it could be us talking negatively to ourselves. Listen to the voice of your own mind. How do you talk to yourself? Do you appreciate yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you cherish yourself? Do you see yourself as somebody sexy and confident and successful? Do you like where you are in your life? Or do you think you can do more? And if you can do more, why aren't you doing it? Do you think that that you're capable of living a better life? And try to work on that instead of focusing so much into some toxic bond with somebody else and how somebody else is treating a new supply and how somebody else is dealing with their new life, because no matter what somebody else is doing in their life, that is not going to affect your life. Even if that person at some point in their future they decide to come back to you, that is not up to you to decide, and that is not for you to choose when it happens and how it happens. What you have control over is you and your future and what you build for yourself and how you treat yourself. Grab a picture of your childhood and post it on your fridge or your wall or somewhere that you see it constantly. A happy picture of your childhood, early childhood, and look at it as someone that you will take care of from now on. Look at it as someone that you want to constantly make happy. And listen to him or her. Listen to what they want and what they have to say. That child is inside you, and that child needs attention. And that child needs to heal in order for you to attract better relationships in the future, even a better form of the same relationship that you have with somebody that you think is your twin or that might be your real twin. A twin flame journey that is in a toxic situation is no different from a karmic toxic bond. Just don't hide behind titles like spirituality and divinity to make excuse for something karmic to stay longer in your life. You're better than that, and your future self deserves you to put attention into yourself and heal yourself and create a better life for yourself. And it all starts with acknowledging that where you are is not where you want to be, and where you are is toxic, and where you are is codependent, and where you are is not helping building any better future for you, and it's just gonna be digging a deeper hole for you. And where you are is not where you deserve to be. You deserve better. You deserve to sleep well at night without having anxiety. You deserve to an honest partner. You deserve a productive business. You deserve financial stability and abundance. You deserve true love in your life, the kind of love that you are capable of giving, the unconditional love, the love of self, guys, is the most important love that you need to practice in order to attract healthier relationships into your life. And I'm going to post a separate video for self-love and what it means and how to go about it, but I'm just going to tell you right now that it's not just about eating healthy and exercising and creating a healthy environment at home or at work and all that. It's not just about indulgence. It's not about fully crossing people out or fully bringing people in, and it's not all just that. Self-love is respecting what your true self wants, what your intuition is saying, listening to yourself and trusting yourself. Once you start trusting yourself and trusting your inner voice, then you start feeling empowered. You start feeling more confident. And try to recognize the difference between the sound of your fear and your ego and the sound of your inner self, and talk positively to yourself. Constantly boost your own ego and boost your self-esteem. Talk nicely to that child, to that picture that you're posting up. Walk by, kiss it, talk to her, talk to him, and take her out for a little walk. Take her out to the beach, buy her ice cream and treat her every now and then. Listen to her, listen to him, listen to what they have to say, what bothers them. And self-love is excuse me, it is also acknowledging that not everyone and everything out there is for you, that it's okay to let go, that it's okay to clear out your space in your life of things that don't belong anymore, things that don't make you happy anymore. And it's okay to say no, and it's okay to push back, and it's okay to create boundaries. And actually you should create boundaries. And that's one of the most important things when it comes to self-love. It's creating healthy boundaries for yourself. If you have any questions regarding twin flames, you can always follow me on Instagram and DM me directly, and we can have a chat about it. But one thing I'm sure about is that there are a lot of toxic videos on YouTube that are promoting a title or an idea or a brand in order to keep you in the dark and keep you chained and bound to a toxic cycle and a karmic cycle. Even if you think that the person you're dealing with is your true divine counterpart or is some spiritual connection, but at the moment it's toxic, it's hurting you, it's keeping you in low vibration, it's blocking you from growth and advancement in your life, that connection is karmic right now, or there is a lot of karma associated to it. And your job for yourself, for your healing, is to disconnect from that environment and that person and that connection, and focus on yourself and love yourself instead. Put that all of that energy that you're putting towards that connection and that person and all of their karma and their karmics and their partners and their family, take all that focus back and put it into yourself, your life, your children, your job, making your money and making your life better. And by creating that change, you will attract the healthy partner that you deserve and the better life that you deserve. Whether this healthy partner is somebody totally new, somebody that has done the work like you have, or it could be someone that you have already been in a connection with, and they also did their work and they also did their growth and they also focused on their life. And trust the universe. Trust that what's for you will not pass you by. What's for you will find you. And keep in mind also that if you're chasing something, it means that something is running away from you. Life is about attracting abundance, and attracting abundance is by putting yourself into that vibrational energy, into that mindset. Even if you're not a rich person, even if you don't have the highest end job that you want, even if you want someone to come into your life that is stable, but you might not feel stable in your own sense, that's okay. You can still work on your own self-worth and your own self-esteem and your confidence in order to attract that energy, even if you're not physically there yet. And trust that if you respect yourself and love yourself, anybody that comes into your environment would love you and respect you. And if they don't, they would just bounce off, and they would not even be able to enter your aura. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much it. I hope it helps, and stay away from readings that trigger you and put you into low vibration and keep you in toxic karmic cycles. No matter how many cards you draw, if somebody has pulled away from you, they have pulled away from you, and there is a reason behind that. And no matter how many cards you draw, and how many times somebody reads a reading for you to tell you how somebody else feels, you will never know how they really feel or how their environment is going on. You can only listen to your intuition, and your intuition is the loudest, most honest voice that can tell you what to do. Yes, it's okay to seek advice. Yes, it's okay to reach out and get help, but use your intuition and don't chase after somebody else's energy. Try to bring your focus back onto yourself. I hope that you have a very nice weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.